Before Marcus Aurelius ruled the world, he fought a war every morning inside his own mind. He was the most powerful man on earth, yet he woke up tired, anxious, and weighed down by responsibility. Not because he was weak, but because he was human. A human expected to lead armies, govern millions, and remain rational in a world ruled by chaos. Marcus understood something most people never stop to consider. The first battle of the day is not fought outside but within. So he didn't chase motivation, and he didn't try to escape stress. He knew stress was not the enemy a disordered mind was. Instead, he turned to something simple, ancient, and brutally effective. He controlled his breath. Because the Stoics understood what modern science now confirms: the way you breathe. In the first minutes of your morning shapes the chemistry of your brain, the clarity of your thoughts, and the discipline of your actions. Your breath decides whether you react emotionally or respond with reason. These were not relaxation techniques meant for comfort. They were mental weapons forged for resilience, used by emperors, generals, and philosophers who had no luxury of panic. Today I'll show you 6 Stoic breathing techniques Marcus Aurelius lived by, ancient practices with modern results you can feel tomorrow morning before the world asks anything of you. Technique 1. The breath of acceptance. Every morning before Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, he prepared himself for disappointment, not success, not praise, disappointment. In his private journal, words never meant for the public eye, he wrote something most people would find unsettling. You will meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance, deceit, ill will, and selfishness. This was not pessimism. This was clarity. This was power. Marcus understood that the greatest battles are not fought on distant fields, but inside the human mind. He knew that suffering rarely comes from what happens to us. It comes from our refusal to accept what already is. And so before he faced generals, wars, and political chaos, he faced his own expectations calmly, deliberately, one breath at a time. He didn't chase motivation. He didn't try to escape stress. He understood that stress is not the enemy. Resistance is. So he turned to something ancient, quiet, and brutally effective: his breath. Modern neuroscience now confirms what the Stoics intuited centuries ago. When your exhale is longer than your inhale, your parasympathetic nervous system activates. Heart rate slows. Cortisol, the stress hormone, can drop by nearly 30% within minutes. Your brain receives a simple message: there is no immediate threat. You are safe. You are present. Now pause for a moment. Breathe with me. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Now exhale gently through your mouth for 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. Inhale 4. Hold 2. Exhale 6. This is not relaxation. This is acceptance. You are training your nervous system to stop fighting reality before reality overwhelms you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment about it." This breath weakens that judgment. It creates space between the event and your reaction. And in that space, wisdom lives. Think about the morning ahead of you, the delays, the difficult conversations, the pressure. Most people tense up unconsciously, bracing for impact. Stoics do something different. They accept the weight in advance. Acceptance removes shock, and shock is what drains your energy. Let's reset once more. Say it silently as you breathe. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. This is reality. I can handle it. Practice this breath for just 2 minutes every morning before you touch your phone, before the world demands anything from you. Over time, you will notice something subtle but powerful: fewer emotional spikes, clearer decisions, a calm that does not depend on circumstances. And this is only the beginning, because once you accept reality, you are ready for the next step: control. In the next technique, we move from accepting what is to mastering how you respond. This is where Stoic discipline truly begins. Technique 2, the breath of control. You don't control events. Marcus Aurelius knew this better than anyone alive. Plagues swept through Rome. Wars erupted without warning. Trusted allies betrayed him. No amount of power could stop reality from unfolding. And yet Marcus remained composed, not because life was gentle, but because his mind was disciplined. He wrote one sentence that defines Stoic control: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Most people misunderstand control. They think it means forcing outcomes. Stoics knew better. Control begins not with the world, but with your response to it. And the fastest way to train that response is through the breath. When something unexpected happens, a message, a delay, a confrontation, your body reacts before your mind does. Heart rate spikes. Breathing becomes shallow. Your nervous system prepares for threat. In that moment, reason is offline. Marcus trained himself to interrupt that reaction. Modern physiology explains why this works. A sharp inhale activates alertness. A slow extended exhale signals safety. Studies in psychophysiology show that extending the exhale by just a few seconds can reduce sympathetic nervous system activity and restore cognitive control within 60 to 90 seconds. In other words, your breath decides whether you react like a slave to emotion or respond like a ruler. Now practice this with me. Inhale sharply through your nose, quick, precise. Then exhale slowly through your mouth, longer than the inhale. Again, sharp inhale. Long, controlled exhale. Repeat this for 5 cycles. As you breathe, say silently, I choose my response. This is the breath of control. Marcus Aurelius faced people who insulted him, delayed him, disrespected him. He did not eliminate these obstacles. He eliminated their power over his inner state. As he wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This breath creates a pause, and that pause is everything. Let's reset. Inhale sharply. Exhale slowly. Notice how your body settles not into comfort, but into command. Consider a real situation. A stressful email arrives first thing in the morning. Most people react immediately, defensively, emotionally, impulsively. But Stoics wait. They breathe. They respond later with clarity. Research from Stanford shows that even brief breathing interventions improve decision accuracy under stress by up to 20%. That difference compounds over days, weeks, years. You are not trying to calm down. You are establishing authority over yourself. Marcus once reminded himself, if someone does wrong, the harm is to himself. Control allows you to see that clearly without anger, without ego. Now one final reset. Inhale sharply. Exhale longer. Say it with me, I am in command. Practice this breath whenever you feel rushed, challenged, or provoked. 5 cycles. Less than a minute. But the effect can change the entire direction of your day. Acceptance taught you to stop fighting reality. Control teaches you how to act within it. And in the next technique, we go deeper, still beyond control, beyond reaction, into stillness. The stillness of an emperor surrounded by chaos, yet unmoved within. Technique 3, the emperor's stillness. Marcus Aurelius lived surrounded by noise. The noise of politics, the noise of war, the noise of thousands of voices demanding decisions, answers, action. And yet those who wrote about him described something rare, unsettling even. An emperor who spoke calmly, who paused before answering, who remained still while others panicked. This was not an accident. It was trained. Marcus understood a truth most people never learn. Stillness is not the absence of action, it is the source of right action. He wrote, nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Most people fear stillness. Silence exposes the mind. It reveals anxiety, impatience, unresolved thoughts. So we distract ourselves. Noise feels productive. Movement feels powerful. But the Stoics knew better. In moments of chaos, the one who remains still becomes the center of gravity. Modern neuroscience supports this ancient wisdom. Research shows that quiet, effortless breathing, without forcing rhythm or depth, increases activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for judgment, restraint, and long-term thinking. At the same time, it reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. In simple terms, stillness restores leadership to the rational mind. Now practice this with me. Do nothing dramatic. Do nothing forceful. Breathe quietly, naturally, without trying to change anything. Notice the breath as it enters. Notice it as it leaves. No effort, no correction. This is the emperor's stillness. Let's reset. Stay with me. As you breathe, imagine Marcus Aurelius standing in the center of a chaotic Roman forum. People shouting, messengers arriving, pressure everywhere, and yet inside still water. He reminded himself, be like the cliff against which the waves continually break. But it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Stillness does not mean passivity, it means stability. In your own life, chaos appears differently. Notifications, deadlines, conflict, information overload. Most people react immediately, mistaking speed for intelligence. But stillness creates delay, and delay creates wisdom. Let's reset again. Quiet breath, no effort, just awareness. Studies show that even 90 seconds of non-directed breathing improves focus, emotional regulation, and impulse control. Over time, this practice rewires your relationship with urgency. You stop being dragged by every demand. Marcus did not respond to everything. He chose. And that choice began in stillness. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Stillness gives you the space to know the difference. Practice this breath when you feel overwhelmed, when control feels heavy. Acceptance taught you to face reality. Control taught you to respond wisely. Stillness teaches you when not to respond at all. One final reset. Breathe quietly. Say silently, "I am centered." In the next technique, we move into something even more confronting: mortality. Because nothing sharpens the mind like remembering that time is limited. And the Stoics use the breath to face that truth without fear. Technique 4, the mortal breath. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of one truth more than any other. Not success, not happiness, not even virtue, mortality. He wrote words that feel unsettling because they are honest. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Most people avoid this thought. They fear it will make life dark, heavy, or depressing. The Stoics believed the opposite. They knew that remembering death clarifies life. Marcus lived surrounded by death. Soldiers fell in battle. Plagues swept through Rome. Life was fragile, unpredictable, and short. And yet, instead of becoming fearful, he became precise. He wasted no breath on trivialities. The mortal breath is not about morbid thinking. It is about urgency without panic, presence without illusion. Modern psychology confirms this effect. Studies on mortality salience show that brief reminders of impermanence increase focus value, driven decision-making, and long-term planning. When people remember time is limited, they act with intention. Now practice this with me. Inhale slowly through your nose. As you inhale, remember this breath is temporary. Hold for a brief moment, then exhale gently through your mouth. As you exhale, release attachment to outcomes, to control, to fear. Again, inhale, this breath is not guaranteed. Exhale, let go. This is the mortal breath. Let's reset. As you breathe, imagine Marcus Aurelius standing alone at dawn, writing to himself before the world awakens. No audience, no performance, only truth. He did not write to scare himself. He wrote to wake himself up. He reminded himself, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. This breath cuts through procrastination, through distraction, through false urgency. It reminds you that time is not infinite, and that is precisely what makes each moment valuable. Consider your own life. How many mornings are spent rushing, worrying, postponing what matters? The Stoics would say that is forgetting death. And forgetting death makes people careless with their time. Let's reset again. Inhale briefly. Exhale fully. Notice how priorities sharpen. Neuroscience shows that when people confront impermanence calmly, the brain shifts from default mode, wandering, to present moment awareness. You stop rehearsing imaginary futures. You act now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." The mortal breath forces you to begin today. This practice is especially powerful in the morning, before messages, before obligations, before excuses. 1 minute of this breath can realign your entire day. Final reset. Inhale, remember this moment is finite. Exhale, commit to using it well. Say silently, "I am alive now." Acceptance taught you to face reality. Control taught you to respond wisely. Stillness taught you when not to react. The mortal breath teaches you why it all matters. And in the next technique, we move from mortality to duty, from awareness of death to responsibility in life. Because knowing time is limited means choosing how you will use it. Technique 5, the duty breath. Marcus Aurelius did not wake up asking himself how he felt. He did not ask if he was inspired. He did not ask if he was motivated. He asked something far more demanding. What does my duty require of me today? This is where Stoicism stops being comforting and starts being transformative. Because duty does not negotiate with mood. Discipline does not wait for the perfect conditions. And responsibility does not disappear simply because you are tired. Marcus wrote to himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. Not as an emperor, not as a philosopher, but as a human with obligations to others, to reason and to virtue. The duty breath is the breath you use when you do not feel like acting, but act anyway." Modern psychology confirms the Stoic insight. Research on identity-based discipline shows that people who anchor behavior to responsibility rather than emotion are up to 45% more consistent over time. Motivation fluctuates. Identity does not. Duty stabilizes action when feelings collapse. Marcus Aurelius governed during war, famine, and plague. He buried children. He led armies while sick. He did not wait to feel ready. He accepted his role and moved. And the breath helped him do it. Now practice this with me. Inhale slowly through your nose. As you inhale, say silently, I accept my role. Hold briefly. Now exhale through your mouth. As you exhale, say I will act with virtue. Again, inhale, I accept my role. Exhale, I will act with virtue. This breath is not calming, it is clarifying. It cuts through excuses. It removes negotiation. It brings you face to face with who you are meant to be, not who you feel like being. Marcus wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That sentence contains no comfort, only direction. Let's reset. Breathe again. Inhale, accept your role. Exhale, commit to action. Think about your own life, the work you delay, the conversation you avoid, the discipline you postpone. Most people wait for energy before they act. Stoics act and energy follows. Neuroscience supports this sequence. When intention is paired with breath and language, the brain's executive centers activate before emotional resistance fully forms. In simple terms, you move first, feelings catch up later. Marcus did not ask whether governing was pleasant. He asked whether it was necessary. Let's reset again. Inhale, I accept my role. Exhale, I will act with virtue. Say it with me. This breath is especially powerful in the morning when resistance is strongest. The bed feels warm. The task feels heavy. The mind invents reasons to delay. The duty breath cuts through all of it. Marcus reminded himself, do what nature demands of you, not what feels easy, not what feels comfortable. What is required? Responsibility to the Stoics was not a burden. It was an anchor. It kept them upright when emotions pulled them sideways. Consider this: studies show that people who frame their work as duty rather than preference experience lower burnout over time, not higher. Why? Because duty removes constant emotional evaluation. You stop asking, do I feel like this, and start asking, what must be done? Let's reset once more. Inhale, responsibility. Exhale, action. Notice the shift. Less internal debate, more clarity, less drama, more direction. Marcus Aurelius did not have the luxury of avoidance, but neither do we if we want a life of meaning rather than comfort. He wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Duty is not blind obedience. It is action guided by virtue. This breath aligns your nervous system with that standard. Practice the duty breath before difficult work, before hard conversations, before commitments you would rather escape. 1 minute is enough to move you from hesitation to execution. Acceptance taught you to face reality. Control taught you to respond wisely. Stillness taught you when not to react. Mortality reminded you that time is limited. Duty tells you what to do with that time. And in the final technique, we complete the Stoic circle, not with pressure, but with gratitude. Because strength without gratitude hardens the soul. And the Stoics knew that endurance must be balanced with appreciation. Technique 6, the breath of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius ruled during one of the hardest periods in Roman history. War, plague, betrayal, loss. And yet scattered throughout his private writings, we find something unexpected. Gratitude. Not the shallow gratitude of comfort, but the deep gratitude of endurance. He wrote, begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful. They are like this because they do not know good from evil. And then almost quietly he added gratitude, gratitude for reason for breath, for the ability to choose virtue. The Stoics understood something profound. Without gratitude, strength becomes brittle. You can endure hardship, but you will become hard yourself. The breath of gratitude restores balance. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies show that deliberate gratitude practices reduce anxiety by up to 35%, improve sleep quality, and increase emotional resilience. Gratitude doesn't remove obstacles, it changes how the brain processes them. Now practice this with me. Breathe slowly and naturally. Inhale through your nose. As you inhale, think of one thing, just one, that you are grateful for. Not something perfect, something real. Hold briefly, now exhale slowly through your mouth. As you exhale, allow the body to soften. Again, inhale gratitude. Exhale release. This is not denial. This is strength with humility. Let's reset. As you breathe, remember Marcus's most famous line: what stands in the way becomes the way. Gratitude transforms obstacles into teachers. Think of a hardship in your life right now, something unfinished, something heavy. Most people ask, why is this happening to me? The Stoic asks, what is this shaping me into? That shift begins with the breath. Reset again. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Say silently. This too is part of the path. Neuroscience shows that gratitude activates the brain's reward circuitry without overstimulation. It stabilizes mood and increases long-term resilience, not dopamine spikes, but steady inner strength. Marcus Aurelius did not live an easy life. He lived a meaningful one, and gratitude allowed him to endure without bitterness. He wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon the chief of the blessings you do possess." Final reset. Inhale one blessing. Exhale acceptance. This breath is especially powerful at the end of your morning routine. It seals the practice. It reminds you that while you cannot control the world, you can appreciate the fact that you are here breathing, capable of virtue. Acceptance prepared you. Control disciplined you. Stillness centered you. Mortality awakened you. Duty moved you. Gratitude completes you. And now a final Stoic reminder. You do not practice these breaths to feel good. You practice them to be good, calm in chaos, disciplined in pressure, grateful in difficulty. If this journey helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs steadiness in a noisy world. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, not for comfort, but for strength. And tomorrow morning, before the world takes your attention, take your breath back. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for motivation. He trained clarity every morning, one breath at a time. If you can master your breath, you can master your reactions. And if you master your reactions, you master your life. If this helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs calm in the chaos. Subscribe to Making Life Better, not for comfort, but for strength. And before you leave, comment just one word: clarity. If you're choosing to start your mornings with control, calm, and purpose.